Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Moving up with the Miclettes.
Moving on up.
And I'm Joseph.
I'm Sherri.
And what are we talking about today?
So today we are discussing manifestations. Manifesting your dreams. Some people might call it praying. Some people might call it setting your intentions. So we're just going to discuss and touch on, what that's all about.
What that's all about.
Yeah. So when it comes to manifesting, what do you think of?
Thinking of future goals and future plans, and maybe even strategizing how to accomplish them, taking the proper steps, even recognizing opportunities, right? Like thinking about, this is what I want to achieve over the next year, 5 years, 10 years, the next week, taking the proper steps to actually achieving that. I'm a big believer in opportunities, in which sometimes doors of opportunity are open to you, and then opportunities that you actively create, right? Not that I've read the book, The Alchemist. However, I started listening to the audiobook about a year ago, and still haven't finished it. However, keeping it real. However, recognizing that we are the creators of our own destiny, right? In which we have the abilities to create the future, the life for ourselves that we want. We're able to create the success that we want for ourselves. And so recognizing that we have power in that does not leave it up to just fate or chance. So I think that part of manifesting what you want for yourself incorporates a responsibility in ourselves to take the proper steps to achieve those goals.
When I think of manifesting, I think of setting the intentions that you want for yourself. So being very specific, setting your goal, setting a time, just, very specific with the goal you're trying to achieve. And, over my life, it's so funny. I feel like there's been certain times where I've said certain things like down to the T, and it happened. I've said it maybe just that one time, but I put it in the universe. I set my intentions, and then I released it. You know what I mean? For example, for me, I think I was probably 15 years old, and which is so weird. And I even said, by the time I'm 25, I want to be married. I want to have my first kid by 27. I want to have my second kid by 29. I want to have my last kid by 31.
It's crazy.
Every single thing that I basically spoke into the universe happened. So that's why people always say, like, put positivity out into the universe. When you speak negative, that reflects on your spirit. And that might be what you attach to yourself as well. So always try to speak the positive. Keep the negativity away, because like I said, that your spirit hears that. Even if you might not be thinking it. Even if it's something like, oh, I'm so fat, I'm this, I'm that. Stop speaking the negative. Speak the positive. I love this about my body, or, I'm going to accomplish this. So for me, there have been times where manifesting has completely come into fruition. And, I met him, and we were married. I was 24. I had, our first daughter at 27, our second at 29, the last one at 31. And they were planned somewhat, but they weren't really, so.
Well, they were planned in the sense that we were preparing for them.
Yeah. I
wouldn't even say prepared is the word. We were planning, and we were accepting.
Yeah.
Right. We were ready for that next step. I don't think prepared. I don't think anybody's ever really prepared to be a parent.
Well, some people are.
Like, you may want to be a parent. You may desire that. You may wish that. You may want that. But
on-the-job training is hard.
It's very different. You know what I mean? Like, they don't give courses on that, and everything is by the book.
Yeah. Like I've said, there's been certain things in regards to certain debt I wanted to pay off by a certain time. So, I've put it out into the universe. I want to pay off this $20,000 within 6 months. Or have it paid by the end of the year. But I'm being very specific with it. So say the amount, say the time frame, just so that you kind of have that in your mind, and you're working towards that goal. Yeah. So was there anything that you particularly maybe have manifested or put into the universe? Any prayers that you put out there?
You know what? I've actually not been really good about that in my lifetime. I've recognized that I'm not somebody who at a very early age, even at a very early age, I've never been in tuned with the universe that way. And it's really only up until maybe the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years where I've been more acceptant of that. And I think that plays a role, right? We're not talking about religion.
Yeah.
We're not talking about theology. We're talking about the universe and energy. And that's really what it's about, right? We're talking about energy. Obviously, I've had friends that have really spoken about that, and I've tried to be open to that. And I think part of me, just my upbringing, maybe my experiences in life, I've always been if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. You know, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. I have these goals. I want to accomplish this, and if it happens, it happens. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. As I've gotten older, I have completely recognized and accepted the fact that when I haven't achieved certain goals, I was to blame, right? I was at fault. I was the one that's responsible for either achieving or not achieving.
You hear that? You hear that? Say that one more time.
I'm responsible. And so something that I know that I have not been really good at in my lifetime, even still now, is putting it out there, putting that energy into the universe, and then taking the steps to make it happen.
Take them steps.
Something that I tried doing way back in 2019 going into 2020 was really being conscious of the energy that I was throwing out there. And entering 2020, I was really about that.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. I'm going to be real.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. And I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, everything fell apart. I'm just saying my energy. Yeah. Because of everything that personally, not just within the household we've experienced, but personally, individually, everything that I've gone through, emotionally, mentally, physically, everything that I have experienced over the last 15 months, I feel like just really set me back.
Yeah.
You know?
And during that time, I was always trying to be like, babe, you know, we got to stay positive. We got to put that positive energy out there. When you putting that negative energy out there, it's going to attach to you, and then you're just going to be, you know, so keep speaking every day. Do your affirmations like, I welcome this, you know what I mean? Yeah. Welcome into my spirit, into my aura, whatever the case is for you. If it comes to where you're writing things and that's your way of doing your affirmations or your manifestations, do that. So. And
I'll say this, having you as my wife, having you as my teammate, having you as my life partner, man, it's so instrumental to have that balance. And we've always said that about ourselves. Yeah. Ever since day one, we've always said we balance each other out, right? Ever since day one, we've always said that. We balance each other out. And I think that's so critical that you can have a significant other, a life partner, or maybe just an accountability group that, you know, for all intents and purposes is there just to remind you, yo, remember what you said? Make that happen. What are you doing this week to take the steps to make that happen? And although I try doing that for myself, I find that I don't do as good of a job with myself, and I put more energy into others. And that's a whole nother conversation for another day that I think we need to have, because
So with doing, you know, with manifesting, with doing your faith works, with putting your intentions out there, what do you think comes with that? Like you said before, you know, I'm responsible for if I achieve it or not. Like, explain that a little bit.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, regardless of whatever your faith may be in this supernatural power or in the universe, whatever your faith may be in the unseen, whatever your faith may be in the unknown, regardless of that, I think you still have a responsibility in achieving what you set out to achieve. And you are responsible eventually for your own success. You are responsible for your own growth. You are responsible for your own happiness. And you can pray all you want. You can hope all you want. You can positively affirm all you want. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, you still have to take the steps. And again, that goes back to what I was saying about opportunities, right? You may have some opportunities that are just knocking, waiting for you to answer. And if you don't answer, if you don't take those opportunities, then we interpret it as not having the opportunities, right? We interpret it as, well, I'm just never going to get that chance. But if you were only in tune with the universe, if you were only in tune to what you were hoping for and you were desiring, and those opportunities start knocking, they start presenting themselves, not in the way you expect, right? But the opportunities that start presenting themselves in ways that you are not expecting, and you're not open to the idea that they're going to present themselves in other ways, you're going to miss it.
That part.
You're going to miss it.
That part. Sometimes, you know, whether if you believe in God, whether you believe in the universe, whatever it may be, sometimes they send you what you've been, you know, manifesting, what you've been asking for, what you've been praying for, in a way that's not as you're expecting. It could be something completely different, but that's the way that you're supposed to go. And because you're expecting something a certain way, you're close to it, you know. So as long as you're willing to be a little bit more accepting, as long as you're willing to kind of step out of the box and see what other opportunities may lie, you know, for you.
You got to recognize the signs, right? Like, and I think that's part of also the way we've been conditioned. You know, you're looking for specific signs, but sometimes those signs are not going to be there. Right? We're conditioned to believe in certain things and not be acceptant of other things that we've been told are incorrect or wrong, right? Or are contradictory to what we are supposed to believe in. And yet, all these other opportunities exist, all these other signs exist, and we're so close-minded to them that we don't interpret them as opportunities, or we don't interpret them as signs to affirm and move forward in that direction, you know? And I think that at the end of the day, we are responsible for that. You know?
Yeah. So, you know, I remember there was also a point when I was like, okay, putting it out there, I want to get this debt paid off. And, you know, at night I would be praying and you know, saying my affirmations and doing whatever I had to do and speaking into myself. And I just kept saying, like, I don't know how I'm going to get this paid off. But then somehow certain jobs came around. And I'm like, you know what? This is God, the universe working through me, trying to show me, like, here's the ways that you're going to go ahead and pay it off. So I took the time to actually, you know, put the effort forth and strategize and determine, you know, between both of us, like, okay, so I can do these two jobs. He started all of a sudden, you know, getting DJ gigs and side hustles and, you know, the money started flowing at that point. And I think it was just because we were so open to the jobs, even though there might've been stuff we did not want to do. Like, we already have, you know, full-time jobs, a family, you know, and he was working on weekends from 8 a.m. till, you know, midnight sometimes, just DJing, and, you know, it was crazy, but we sacrificed and we were able to get the debt paid off. And I think it's because we were open to it, and those opportunities were knocking, and we made it happen.
And not to mention, you know, help from family members, right? Like, sometimes you end up getting a check in the mail and you're like, what's this for? You know, why? You don't have to do this, you know? Or you get a birthday gift, or you get a Christmas gift, right? Something comes up to where, like, man, okay, this is helpful. You know, and I've always had a problem with accepting gifts, right? I've always had a problem.
It's the worst to shop for.
I've always had a problem with being
receptive.
But I've always been grateful, right? And so I think that that's part of it, is recognizing, look, there are people that are willing to help you, whether it be friends, family, whoever the case may be. Just be receptive to it. And the good you put out into the universe, sometimes that comes right back to you, you know? And that's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother video. The good you put into the universe will come back to you, you know? And I think that's part of what we're talking about today, is just recognizing, look, put it out there. See what comes.
So thank you so much for joining us today. We just wanted to put it out there. Just let you know that whether you're praying, whether you're manifesting, you're doing your daily affirmations, keep the positive energy out there flowing. Let that attach to you. Don't speak negative things to your spirit, because your spirit will believe it. So
and other people will. And negative energy only attracts more negative energy.
So keep that positivity as much as you can. You know, try to deflect the negative, and, you know, keep doing what you can for yourself.
So thank you once again for being with us here on the channel, Moving Up with the Miclettes. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment down below, share, give us a thumbs up, help us out in the algorithm so that other people are able to become part of this community and join us on this YouTube journey as we all try to get to the same place that we're trying to be at together and helping one another out. Again, thank you so much. We'll check y'all out next time.
Keep moving up with the Miclettes.
Moving on up.